I'm at the
IGL.
IGL Aegis Training. I actually knew what I was doing, but I was thinking about
He's
giving
thinking
a
of
tribute to Mike Carlin of where we were at Fastlane Detailing.
Yep, we are
and I
there.
was distracted by the crayons in the Marine
And
this
the window
beautiful
lickers.
tractor that we treated yesterday with IGL Aegis.
Yep.
So what do you
all
think?
over.
How'd we do?
You guys did an excellent job. It's dry. It's about 5 hours from going out yet, but
Yeah.
she's dry to the touch. She doesn't leave any fingerprints. She's thick enough. She's protected.
Yeah, it's nice. I mean, I can't believe how, I mean, we talked a lot about how it's really about corrosion mitigation, cutting time down, extending the life.
And
But the ancillary benefit is it freaking looks amazing.
And oh, by the way,
Yeah,
she looks
I
great.
mean, it looks beautiful.
Yeah.
I mean, you'd walk into a showroom and go, yeah, I'd buy this, right?
And that's a careful thing, and we try to drive that home and drive it home and drive it home, especially as detailers. Most people to start when they come to this, it's like don't pay attention to the fact that what you're going to do is going to look great.
Right.
We're mitigating corrosion. We're giving them tons of more resale value. We made the mechanics super happy because they don't have to spend all that time cleaning it up all the time.
Yeah.
You know, it's easy to clean up. And then the first thing we all do is come in and go, wow, it looks fantastic.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
amazing.
But I think that if you just train your mind to think of it as, okay, it looks good because it has the protection on there, and we want it to look that good when I come and spray it off. I mean, obviously this thing's going to be out in the dirt and the mud and the slime and everything.
Sure.
So when I spray that back off, that's when it looks great again because it's got protection. It's a layer of something over the top. It's a thick layer.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's one of the things I think that struck me the most was the thickness of this protection that you're putting on. Single coat application if you do it right.
Right.
And you don't have to do any of the same stuff that you do with other types of because it's not a ceramic. You're not leveling it. You're not coming back and wiping it off. It's a spray on. It's a 2K process. It's a paint basically.
We like to tell people that it's a paint that doesn't have all the prep steps necessary for paint. Although the more you prep, obviously the better your finish. But it has the characteristics of the ceramic when it's done.
Yeah.
And it kind of throws people off. It works extremely well.
It does. And I mean, one of the things that struck me as really, that impressed me, I guess, about IGL in general was the number of years that this was in the process of being made.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
we don't do anything for just overnight.
Yeah.
We don't reach in and the concept generally comes from a manufacturer, makes its way to us, and then it's years before it ever hits the street. And that's aggravating to us because we get titillated, we get teased with it.
Yep.
We got something coming, and we have to sit patiently because the lab does not release anything to us until they're ready to release it.
It's kind of very similar to the software process. We hear a lot of things that people want, and then we can't get it out fast enough.
No.
But we don't want to put it out before it's done. Right. Same thing. You got to have it fully baked before it goes out. And this is it's such a different product. I mean, that's why you guys received an award at SEMA. That's why it's been, 8-9 years in the making, because it is such a different product compared to other products that we've installed, or, other coatings that we've been able to put on and different things. It's real similar to paint, but it has different properties. Never been able to have a run in something and wipe it off and respray it and have it level itself off. That's fantastic.
That's
Let's talk to
unheard
PPG.
of. Yes.
Come on, man.
Right.
That's fantastic.
As long as the check's been-
Absolutely.
So one of the things that I was talking to my son last night about, he's like, we sprayed this thing with Aegis, but earlier in the day they had talked about that they could use Eclipse on parts of this.
Right.
And that's one of the things that we missed. So if you were doing it, because we did all of the sides, the undercoating, the lift, what would you have just in the cap in Eclipse or?
No, I would have gone to any place I found Zerk fittings,
Grease fittings,
electrical components.
Yep.
And actually get into those components that way inside the cab. And we actually would use some of our car coatings because to get that coated.
the glass, the lights, the mirrors.
Right. any sensitive electrical part or something that needs grease to go through it,
Yep.
the entry point, okay? But because the ceramic will breathe and allow that stuff to work.
Yep.
This is
Right.
a solid membrane over top of everything else, so you don't want to.
Yeah, you don't want an electrical
and that
connection
was,
to have
and that's
that
kind of what
membrane
I
over there.
told him. I was like, look, as we're doing this more, you're going to learn that there are different applications for different solutions, right? And he was really looking for, because I know today we're going to be doing the side by side, right, with the Calypse and stuff. So there's always something to learn, and that's why Rod and I love coming to these trainings. We're always picking up something. We're always expanding our knowledge so that we can help the detailers that do business with us. But like I've said a gazillion times, our developers hate it when we travel.
Because now we have all kinds of ideas. But I think the fun part for me was watching people that have never had a paint gun in their hand.
Yeah.
And that's why I think the product is unique, but the application is very unique for most people in detailing. Most people have not picked up a paint gun before and sprayed it, because now you're talking, there's a product and there's a new tool, and you got to learn the tool. And people get confused by paint guns. They're like, oh my God, there's all these knobs and all this. It's
FFA.
Yeah, and the other thing is, it's like most mechanics on an older car that had a carburetor, he could really mess it up if you start messing with the dials. The main thing you tell people when they're learning how to work on a car is, if it's running, don't touch it. If you touch it, count the number of settings in and out before you take anything off. Paint guns the same way. You need to know the settings. But you guys, and you've said this before, I'll steal your words, you've built a box around the installation. It's a very tight box, but it absolutely tells you exactly what you should do. And if you never go beyond that with that tool, with the paint gun, you could apply Aegis. You need to come to this training. This is not something you would ever pick up and just do, because this is it's a hard surface. Like you said, it's a paint type of product. The dry time and the cure time are a lot different than ceramics. Similar to paint, but absolutely very different than paint too. I was blown away by that, because paint, 60 to 90 days before it actually cures. This is a 7-day cure time. So yes, the piece of equipment, the trailer, the tractor, the truck, car, whatever, is going to be down for a week before it actually cures. But then you've got years of protection.
Interestingly, I talk to guys and they say, well, we painted our paint booth and we shipped on Thursday afternoon, and we set it out on the yard Friday afternoon. Okay, how long was it in the paint booth getting prepped? How much work did you have to do for prep? How much primer did you have to apply? How many different colors of paint did you use? How many different chemicals did you spray? And here, realistically, 1 or 2 guys knocked us out in an hour.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. You really knock it out in an hour. Past it's cleanup.
Yes.
It's a basic cleanup, and it takes an hour. And they're like, well, but we shipped ours and whatever. And I'm like, wait a minute. Now you're working on making money somewhere else. And I'm sorry, this is going to sit for a day or 2 before you sell it.
Yeah.
You're still leaps and bounds ahead of paint. It doesn't replace paint.
No.
But it absolutely rejuvenated this guy. Not that that's what our intent was.
No, but it is a very powerful ancillary benefit, not only for you as the installer, but also, your customer walks in, and I'm going to post the before and the after, and it is night and day, the difference, right? And I think, we get to that curing time. Ashton and I were talking about that last night. He's like, yeah, it's almost like you can build a book of business where you're leapfrogging the deliveries and the installs, and you can have a consistent flow of work if you set up your operation and your systems correct.
Because I was thinking about the same thing and talking to Kelly Mankin from Hawaii about it, and I'm like, you need to have a prep area, a finished curing area. So you could be cleaning, you could be spraying, and one could be curing, and you could have it in that order. And Mike's got a beautiful shop. He's got the room he could do that. Sure. Anybody that's in a climate that's not Wisconsin or Idaho, thinking about like Tampa Bay, Florida, where most of the shops are open air.
Right.
You could have an area where they're curing underneath that and prepping this one. And I was really impressed with the prep of it. Anytime you're doing corrosion removal, you know, wire wheels, and you got metal going everywhere. All those metal particles are going all over everywhere. It's a hazard to you. It's a hazard to the environment. And with this, we wiped it down with a like a pre-coat or a prep,
Right.
and spray it on. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's fantastic product too. You need the PPE. You've got to have
You
a
gotta have
respirator.
the PPE.
This is something you do not want in your lungs. And gloves and a suit. I mean, and the Landon demoed that yesterday. We have some pictures out on our site for that. But you need to get yourself some PPE. This is a step
a different
beyond
game.
detailing.
It's a
Yes,
different game.
this is way above. This is an industrial application that I think people, I just blown away because I just keep thinking of these side businesses to do, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, RVs, equipment trailers, farm equipment, agricultural, industrial, construction. It's just, it's limitless.
You know, it started snowing on us last night.
Yeah.
As we were having dinner. And on the way to the hotel, I noticed that the road sign was already covered.
Yeah.
Already covered.
Yeah.
You know, and I thought, geez, you know, if I could get with the road department in this county or this municipality
And just have it just.
and just sheet off,
Yeah.
because it's, you know, it behaves like a ceramic, so it's hydrophobic in nature.
Right.
The neat thing is I guarantee you I'll have messages on my phone from our guys that say, well, I'm a painter. You've known me for years. Let me just go ahead.
Yeah.
And
no.
Mr. Painter, you're the guy that needs to come here because you have to retool.
Yeah, you really,
Yes,
you really
you
do.
do.
Because
Yes.
I mean, I found myself yesterday wanting to, the initial instinct was to go against what you had trained 30 seconds earlier. I mean, I'm watching you set up the gun. We talked about it. You told exactly what, and immediately my brain went, okay, I need to adjust this and adjust. Okay, whoop, step back. So just listen to the training and follow that box, and it works. And I, you know, as we were, Mike Carlin and I were mixing up some other stuff. And he's like, do you want to give it a little oopsie in there? And I took I did take some knowledge that I had. I took the stir stick and I went up and I said, no, I wouldn't do that because it's in a cold environment. We've got a medium reducer and it's dripping off there like water, which non-paint guys come to the training, but it was the right viscosity to spray.
Right.
Yeah.
But it goes on very thick. It's got some different properties. It goes on very thick and it stays. It didn't run easily like a paint would.
Right.
But yeah, I mean.
Yeah, I was actually expecting it to run a bit. But you just keep that nice even pattern and it just settles in nice, and come in this morning, flick it and it's hard.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
So go out to IGLcoatingsusa.com. If you're in Canada, it's IGLcoatingscanada. It is .com. I was looking for a different dot there. And check this product out because it is totally unique. There's not another one out there like it. Like I said, this is an award-winning product from SEMA 2023, and look into the trainings in this because the investment in this is going to be, I mean, I can't even put a number on the amount of money you could make doing this. This is a completely new business.
You said it right there. It gives the guys that are, you know, inherently slow this time of year something to pivot to.
Yes. Yeah.
It really, really does. We'll be calling a couple of you guys. I know who you are.
And we have, of course, you get the IGL team. So
right.
Marcus, Mike Carlin, and Joel LaPalm.
And a huge company behind it. I mean,
yes.
that's the thing is the IGL family is a huge company behind it. You got Malaysia, you got Canada, you got the United States. So, yes, go ahead. Thank you.
No, that was good. Thank you guys so much. We're looking forward to the wrap-up today. So today's going to be
Eclipse. We're going to do an actual ceramic
coating. We're also
coating.
going to be talking about business ideas and bouncing that off, how we could approach it. So, I mean, it's a training, but it's also a business strategy session is what I'm looking for today. And I know my son is. So, but anyway, thank you guys for tapping in. We may do one or two more lives, not sure, but right now I'm going to go do a video of this so I can do the pre and after. So
perfect.
Cool.
Thanks, man.
Thanks for having us,
Appreciate
man. It was super fun. Well, it still is fun. And we're still live. So